Alright, hello everyone. It's been a while since I've, had to talk like this for a long time. So this is me, Gigan Seymour, and today I'm going to be talking about Running Red 2 Vampire Money. If you're curious about the seed I'm using, it is, of course, in the Running Red 2 mod pack, version 1.1.0. The seed is Darknessfalls, all lowercase, no spaces. The terrible starting area, but I managed to take the terrible starting area and then turn it into something that was somewhat okay. So if you're wondering why I'm recording this video, it's to celebrate Running Red 2 being listed as of today. Well, when I say today, it's whenever this video is going to be put out. I got informed that it was going to be listed beforehand, but I'm just, doing this now so that it'll be ready, because, the actual recorded footage that I took that you're seeing on the screen is actually an hour and 45 minutes long. I have no idea if I'm going to be able to talk that long. But yeah, I actually didn't realize I was recording when I was doing this, so I was, basically just, because I hit 5 accidentally when I was typing the world name, and that's the key that I used to start recording, and so this recorded hour 45 minutes. It wasn't until I died that I realized that I had been recording the entire time, so actually that was pretty sweet. Well, the death is a little bit, there was no way I could have known. Anyway, that's not where we start. The death is like the last thing I've done in Vampire Money. So we're going to start with the very first. So Vampire Money, I'd wanted to make a sequel to the original Running Red, which, you saw, you played. It's the Skyblock, if you haven't heard of it. But there wasn't really a way to continue that story because of the completeness of it. Like, it ends, spoiler alert, it ends with you dying, and there's nothing I can do from there. So I knew that I had to make a different story, but I wanted it to be somewhat similar. So, like, if Running Red represented depression, I wanted Running Red 2 to represent getting help. But I still didn't have a story for it, so I waited for inspiration to strike. And it took a while, but there was this one day that, a person asked me to write a story, and I wrote about a vampire. And it wasn't like, I absolutely hate the Twilight vampires. Like, this vampire, it wasn't a complete vampire, like, the person had just been bitten, but he was turning into a vampire, and I think if you've played Running Red 2, you know this story. He doesn't want to be a vampire, but there's really nothing he can do about it. And as time goes on, he gains more and more of the vampire powers. So, like, he's got, at first he'll, like, be able to run faster, jump higher, but eventually he's going to start burning in the sun. And that's no fun for anybody. So yeah, I wrote that story. It ended okay. I'm gonna rework the ending, but I liked the story, so I decided that was what I was gonna use for Running Red 2, because, like, it could represent depression, because you know how, like, the vampirism is, it's like there's nothing you can really do about it. You just have to let it happen, unless you fight it really, really hard. Same goes for depression. So I thought that was, like, the perfect metaphor. And so that's what I decided to use for the story. I actually came up with the idea for the story and proposed it to some of my friends on the forums. Oh god, that was a while ago. Hold on, let me turn on Chrome and see if I can find it. I fleshed out the story while I was on vacation this one time. It was around the time that the whole real sketch thing happened. I don't expect you to know that, just you don't want to know that. Okay. Conversations, show all. Anyway, by the way, while the conversations load, the The reason I'm mining all this sand is because if you've played like the super hostile starting map, like the training map, you know, like Vex teaches you that sand is actually a very valuable starting resource. You can use it to like you can use it to elevator up, and then you can turn it into sandstone so you can have a little platform out there. It's really easy to get all the stuff off of the platform and go down and up and stuff, and it's very useful. So that's why like this spawn is better than like a spawn where there's no trees and there's just stone. But yeah, so that's also, we found a desert pyramid there, so that was very useful. By the way, the zombie that I'm fighting right there, that guy's a hero. He can actually kill you in one hit unless you have full iron armor, and then he'll get you down to a couple hearts, so I'd watch out for him. He's pretty dangerous. So anyway, I have quite a few condos here. That's what happens when you never leave the forums. This is gonna be a long time ago. Okay, so I proposed it to them. Here's vampire money testing groups. Almost here. Right, I think it's on this page. Running red. There's so much stuff about the original. There's a whole bunch of stuff from the werewolf games. I'm sorry, this is taking a while. I'm sort of okay with it. Okay, Vampire Money official chat. First time I proposed it, I wasn't sure if it was actually going to end up being a sequel to Running Red, because I still didn't know if I wanted that to be like a thing. Because, you know, Running Red was pretty complete, and I didn't know like if I would be okay with doing an indirect storyline. But that's just what I came up with. Like, so I proposed, this is like my plot area. You've been bitten by a vampire. There's a countdown until you are totally converted. Until then, you still retain some control over your body. The pack will end immediately when the timer reaches 0. Your goal is to survive as long as possible and tell your friends and family what happened. So, obviously, the friends and family will probably come in later, but obviously the timer that ends the mod pack immediately once you're a full vampire, that is not going to be included. However, a lot of the things that I proposed in this initial proposal are in there. So yeah, there's like, so a great thing that I proposed in this original proposal was like, it was like there would be heroes and vampires, because the person that you play as is only like a half vampire. He hasn't turned all the way into a complete vampire. He's just, you know, part way through the transition. So he's like considered a vampire by other humans, so they're going to be hunting him. But he also has human blood, so that means vampires still want to drink his blood. So there's going to be a whole bunch of people fighting him. He's essentially being attacked by everyone. So if he wants to survive, he's going to have to try really hard. There's a phone call. I'm not going to answer that. No offense, whoever it is, but I am busy. Yeah, so that was the initial idea. They originally planned... Oh, I'm gonna have to answer the phone. Or not. Never mind then. Okay, so, you know how I initially had planned for there to be a timer? I also initially planned for there to be, like, a map. Like, it wasn't gonna be a skyblock, but there was gonna be, like, a whole bunch of places you'd have to go for quests, but I ended up not doing that. Yeah. So, the timer, we'll talk a little bit more about that because it was actually a really neat concept. So the timer was basically at the beginning, you'd start off as, like, barely a vampire, but it would still, like, the only thing you'd be able to do is suck people's blood to regenerate health, which is first thing you get in the mod pack. But then as time goes on, you'll slowly get more and more powers, starting with speed, then strength, in much the same order that is currently in the pack. And then you'd as like the time went on, there's like more and more hostile mobs would start spawning, like more powerful things, so that it would keep scaling. And so it would, like, you'd be gaining powers, but so would the other things, so it was essentially a rough battle straight to the end. And then finally, at the end of the timer, you would be killed and the world would be deleted because hardcore. I still wish I could force all the worlds to be hardcore, but I can't. And so that was the idea. Like, you'd be able to kill things like hostile monsters would, like, killing things would slow down the timer. Like, killing hostile monsters and, like, passive creatures would slow down the timer a little bit, but killing intelligent creatures would would slow down the timer a lot, almost bring it to a halt, but it wouldn't completely stop. And then after the killing, the timer would slowly start getting back up to speed again. So there was a timer. It was going to take like approximately like 16 real life hours, I think, maybe 12. So you had like a day of playing. But I retired that for a couple reasons. Later in the pack, I would make it go up. But I completely lost my sentence there. Later on in the development of the pack, I stopped the timer from being in there for several reasons. One, because I decided that I didn't want there to be a normal world. One, because I'm terrible at building, and two, because there's a lot of packs out there, challenge packs, that have worlds that are pre-gen for you. And, you know, especially if it's a world where all the treasures are going to be in the same places, I didn't want that to happen, because it was obviously something where you were going to be playing it over and over again, so I figured random worlds would be perfect for that. And so yeah, it was going to be difficult to implement the timer on a world that was randomly generated, because it was originally going to involve a lot of redstone and quest tracking systems, and quest delivery systems. It was just going to be a huge hassle to include, because I don't know how I'd get it to be included, if we're being honest. Like, because if you only want one to generate per world, I don't know how you would do that with any other generation mods you have out there. And I also retired it, of course, because I felt like, 12 hours, if people got really good at it, I didn't want them to have to lose that, with the force limit, no matter how hard they try to survive. So yeah, the timer was not implemented. Obviously the world was not either. So then, there was this period where I stopped working on it for a while, but then I came back to it. I got Lumacion and Strikingwolf to make the Vampire Money custom mod, which gives the potion effect that allows you to steal health from things by attacking them. I implemented a lot of the quests, and I only have the first chapter in there now, but yeah, it was done. I used in case you're curious, lore. I used a mod called Lore Expansion to give people the potion effects, because it allows you to execute commands when people receive the lore pages. So whenever you hear me talking, there's a good chance that you've received a potion effect. First, by completing the first quest, you'll get the ability to drink people's bloods for health regen. Second quest, you get speed. Third quest, strength, and so on and so forth. Eventually, the rewards you get are going to end up being influenced on by whether or not you chose to go down the vampire path or if you tried to stay human. Speaking of that, let's get to that. So there's like two ways you can go in Vampire Money. First way is you only kill like evil things, like you kill the things that are trying to hunt you, like zombie skeletons and the hunters. That will increase your human reputation, which means you're like not giving in to the vampirism, and that's like kind of like the good side. But then there's also the reverse side where you kill more of the things that are easy, like the passive creatures or like the intelligent things like villagers and imps, and that's gonna increase your vampire reputation, and that's like the bad side. So when it comes down to it, the things that you kill are going to, in order to regenerate your health, is going to affect who you become in the end of the pack, and that's like a really big thing. It's going to affect, like, if we look at it not as a metaphor, but how it'd be whether you took the hard way out and you fought your depression, or whether you gave into your depression, the vampire way and died. Well, I don't know about died, but that's just not what people would want you to do. So there's kind of like a philosophical choice on who you kill in Vampire Money. So I'm very happy with that. Obviously, there's still a bunch more quests we have to add. And on to the next thing. In case you don't know, I do not like mining in Minecraft. I know it says it in its name, but I just don't find going under the ground and looking for blocks with slightly different textures to be that much fun. And every time I do something, I try to like get ores in a different way. So like in Running Red, you had to grow them with bushes, and in this pack, you kill things to get your ores. When you kill something, if it's like any normal creature, it has a 80% chance to drop a reward bag, and when you open the reward bag, you can get all the different types of ores that are going to be useful in the pack. Obviously with diamonds and emeralds being the rarer of the drops. And then there's also like when you kill something, it completes a quest in the cancer quest line, and that allows you to get a second one, and that's the actual thing that increases your reputation. So you'll always get one reward bag from killing something, and then you have an 80% chance of killing another. Unless, of course, it's like an intelligent thing, like the villagers or the imps. They have like 110% chance of dropping a reward bag. I don't even know how that works. And then you get 2 reward bags from completing the quest, killing them. However, that also increases your vampire reputation by 2. So, there's that choice in there. And I didn't like... So that's how I eliminated mining. I stopped all the ores from generating underground. So that was very nice. However, that didn't... I still wanted underground to be useful for something, because otherwise you're just going to be on the surface the whole time, and you're going to have absolutely no reason to go underground. So I decided to make it sort of like a dungeon, using Deadly World. So when you go underground, there's going to be lots of chests out there. There's lots of useful things and potions that you can use, that, it's just a good idea to go down there. However, there's also going to be lots and lots of bad guys. There's tons of different types of spawners and traps and things that you can fall for, and there's more and more of them the farther down you go. And as well, farther down you go, the more chests there'll be, so the more rewards you'll get. And when you reach like diamond level, ordinarily, there's going to be boss monsters, which are like super powerful version of normal creatures, and they are just like insane, but you get really good rewards from killing them. So yeah, it's certainly entertaining to go underground. And obviously I didn't want people mining underground, so like 60% of the blocks, stone blocks, are actually silverfish blocks, which is just yeah, I don't know how happy that makes people, but it certainly prevents them from mining. So you're gonna have to get down to the bottom using caves, and you know, I find that to be pretty fun. So yeah, obviously I discouraged a lot against mining in this pack. And you don't even get your ores from mining, you get your ores from killing things. So those are like the big mechanics in Running Red 2. You regain health by killing things, and you get ores by killing things. Obviously, we're going to go back to the gameplay that's happening on the screen right now. In this particular gameplay, I started off in a terrible spawn, darknessfalls seed. There's no trees anywhere for a really long time. The first source of what I was able to find was this like imp hut in the middle of the ocean. And yeah, so as you can see, I'm coming to this imp hut right now. It's obviously made out of logs, so that's gonna that is like my first source of wood in the entire pack. Really glad I found that. I actually ended up staying here for the night because I do have enough wood from the, wool, there you go, wool from the desert temple to make a bed. And obviously, if you saw it earlier, that's an addition in the most recent update. I'll get to that later. But yeah, so I ended up staying here for the night, and that's yeah. I'm just fixated by the like slightly higher pitched villager noises coming from the imp. It's like I didn't actually expect the imp to attack me. Was not what I was expecting to happen. I expected it to be like a passive creature, like a villager. Turns out these guys can actually fight back. Didn't know that. Anyway, I did. So yeah, Darknessfalls seed is an incredibly difficult start, but I ended up making a pretty good run out of this. I would rarely get that far off of a seed like this. But I found it to be an enjoyable thing, and I'm really glad that I was accidentally recording it. So anyway, here you can see me destroying the hut for wood. I can't destroy it, like, the logs are really the only harvestable wood out of this hut, because everything else is just like stairs and slabs, and you can't turn that back into wood. So yeah, that's Darknessfalls seed. So anyway, I had it set up so that we're gonna go back to the making of Vampire Money now. Talking for about 20 minutes. I don't know if we're honestly gonna make it to an hour and 45 minutes. If we don't, I'm just gonna let you watch the gameplay. Put in some music maybe. That's really stressful losing a health there, because like at this point I don't even have the potion effect that allows me to regain hearts, so oh no, that could have been like a permanent health loss. Obviously I needed to make combat more interesting if I wanted to have a pack based around combat. So I created a thread on the Feed the Beast forums asking people what they would like to see in a mod pack based around combat. There were a couple interesting ideas. Easiest one to implement was having lots of different types of mobs. So that was obviously very simple. It's just, I can just use special mobs for that. And I also think I have a couple other mob mods in there. And if not, they're going to be added sometime in the future. So that was the easiest thing to implement. I added in special mobs. I made it so that a lot of the mobs that spawn are going to be special mobs. So like there's a very high chance that it's not going to be like a normal zombie or a normal skeleton. It's going to be a special zombie, like maybe like a plague zombie or a giant zombie. There's certain variances of creatures that spawn less often, just because I wanted to be a little bit nice to the player. Even though this isn't a pack all about being nice. Then the other suggestion was like something that the player would do to make combat more interesting, like dual wielding. That was one of the first suggestions I got. I didn't. Yeah, and then the other suggestion was like a thing that allowed you to do different sword moves. I can't remember. It actually looked really interesting. But that wasn't really compatible with what I needed to do. So I took a look at dual wielding. Now I knew that there used to be a mod, Mind and Blade Battle Gear, that allowed you to dual wield weapons and stuff. But I remember using it in 1.2.5, and I remember trying to use it in 1.4.7, but it not being, updated because of changes to Minecraft's engine. So I thought that I wasn't going to be able to do dual wielding like that, so I was considering just making Strikingwolf code because, I made Strikingwolf code so many things. We'll get to that in a moment. Sorry, Strikingwolf. But I looked up Mining Blade Battle Gear, and it turns out there's actually, like, another version available. Like, one for 1.7, and I was so happy, because it turns out that I was going to be able to do it. So, that just made me ecstatic. So, yeah, that's how I, that's what happened what I did to make the combat more interesting. I'm thinking of maybe adding in that other mod that allowed the different, like, sword moves, but I don't know how compatible it'll be with Mind and Blade Battle Gear. I'm happy with how the combat is right now. It's still a lot more refreshing than vanilla combat, but there might still be some things I want to change in the future. So then I actually went about assembling the pack. So I put everything together through HQMN, lore expansion, Mind and Blade, special mobs, all the things I thought I would be using. Buildcraft, blood magic, obviously. I still didn't know how I was going to do blood magic because it'd be, I don't know, it seems like it would be a little unfair to have the player do blood magic when they can't actually regenerate health. But that's what I did. I put it all together, and then I sent out like a testing version just to make sure all the mods were stable to a couple people. They said that they enjoyed it. Yeah, everything was good. And then I tried to make the mobs drop ores. This was where I made a huge mistake. This is like, I feel so stupid for this. Basically, what I did was I attempted to use mob properties by Father Toast to make the mobs drop ores. And it was all going good until the mobs actually dropped something. Sometimes it would work just fine. It would drop like the copper ore that I wanted, and sometimes it would drop like, I don't know, like a robot from Buildcraft, or like a machine from Ender.io. Because I was still doing it the old way of doing mob properties, where you put in the item ID. Because I tried to put in the item name, like Minecraft item _ bread or whatever, but it didn't actually work. That was not. It kept crashing every time I tried to do it, and so I was like, okay, this isn't working. I like asked Father Toast why it wasn't working. He's just like, oh, you just gotta put in the string, and I'm like, okay, I'm putting it in, but it isn't working. So I'm like, it wasn't working. So I go to Strikingwolf. I'm like, okay, Strikingwolf, I need you to make me a mod It allows me to edit the drops of monsters. And he makes like a really good mod. Mob drops. It's pretty sweet. It's a little limited in its functionality because it only allows you to make them drop certain types of items, but it does allow you to modify the amount of things that drop from, like the chance of things dropping from monsters, and it's really cool. Like you can edit the amount of skulls that drop from wither skeletons, and it's actually really sweet. Go thanks Strikingwolf for making that amazing mod. But anyway, there was like a little bug that Strikingwolf had. It's fixed now with mob drops, but there's this bug that he had where it would like only drop rotten flesh, and that obviously was not what I was going for. So he fixed the bug, and in the meantime, I looked at mob properties again because I still had no idea what I was doing wrong. And then I looked up the difference between an int and a string. Oh, hi Ginger. Come here. So it turns out that the entire time I had been attempting to put in because I didn't code Java at this point, so I didn't know the difference between an int and a string. I just thought that like an int was numbers and a string was letters, which is, you know, generally true. But in actuality, you have different ways of typing your ints and your strings. Ints, like, they don't need quotation marks, but strings do. I didn't know that strings needed quotation marks. So Strikingwolf made an entire mod because I didn't know the difference between ints and strings. So I got it to work using mob properties, and all was good. I worked on the quests and such. I worked on it. There's not really much to talk about here. Edited configs, made silverfish spawn everywhere, petted my cat like I am right now. Here, let me see if I can pick up my cat. Oh, he's not gonna like that. Never mind. And so, yeah, I released the first version of Running Red 2 Vampire Money. Unlike the original, the first release was actually rather stable. And after I released it, I actually did a bunch of funny things happened with this. Like I misspelled sanguinomancy. I spelled it sanguinomancy. I don't know. I got approached by Toman Potter. He asked me to fix that. That was just another mistake on my end, along with forgetting the difference between ints and strings. It's just so stupid. And then, yeah, Watchful and T-Fox approached me, and they're like, so, you know, the original Running Red was really good, and it was listed, and, you know, we were wondering if, you know, you were planning on continuing the series past this point, and, you know, they asked me if I wanted Running Red 2 to be listed, and I'm like, not right now. It's like currently, and it's only its first release. They're like, don't worry, we have to wait until like all the other 1.7.10 packs are out before we can start listing third-party packs. So, also stupid damage right there, again. There's a zombie in a tree, by the way. I don't see it until later. And excuse me if you hear my cat purring. He's rolling on the floor right now. I guess I can go talk to him. Like, go over there and pet him. I don't know how good that would be for recording purposes, though. Here, why don't I try to pick him up? Hold on. I know this is kind of off topic, but let's do it. One moment, mates. Okay. I got my cat. He's very huge. Very huge. But he's here now. He's here now. He's okay. I'm petting him. And he's purring. Not as much as he was before, but he's purring. Yeah, that's a good cat. Alright, so, yeah, that's what we were doing. So where was I? Yeah, first release of Running Red 2. So, obviously, I took a break here. I started working on a couple other packs. I think most specifically like Phoenix Craft 2 and whatnot. Phoenix Config, all those fun stuff happened in this lull. And I actually didn't get back to updating Running Red 2 for a while. But I have... eventually I decided, okay, I've been neglecting Running Red and Running Red 2 for a long time. So I pushed out an update to Running Red, I think, during this time. I added the new island. There's also a derp that I made there. Like, I ended up pushing like a series of several updates all in the same day, where like I removed the Railcraft hidden blocks, but then that ended up making old worlds not loadable. So I put them back in, but I gave them the wrong ID. I assigned them to the same ID as Vanilla Stone, and like that never ends well. So then, God, there's cat hair flying everywhere now. That's what happens when I invite my cat up onto my lap. He's a very fat cat. His name's Ginger. I think in my voicemail video, if you look back on my channel, you can see a picture of him. And so anyway, that's the original Running Red. That's not what we're here to talk about. I'm just trying to fill space. Oh, don't go, Ginger. Okay, Ginger left. That's sad. Okay, let me just brush off this cat hair. Alright, so, where were we? So I attempted to play Running Red 2 a couple times between then and now. Basically, I'm just not... Most of the times I played it, I was not able to do it at all. I couldn't, like, I was just terrible at it. I would always die, like, the first 3 nights in. So then I started adopting a conservative strategy when playing it, so, like, I'd attempt to sleep through the nights and not try to combat things and get the resources, because I would always be out during the nights and killing the things, and that did not really work out in my favor. So yeah, okay, so I guess, what do we have left to talk about? We have, like, the trailer and the update. Yeah, let's go with the update first. So, most recent update, Running Red 2, v1.1.0. Very, very fun update. I had it in the works for a while. It was, yeah, I had it in the works for a while. Same with the Running Red update that I just, like, haven't actually put out in forever, but I need to. I know it's just, like, so complicated to get these things out and zip them up, but it's not really that complicated. I'm just procrastinating. So anyway, so the update, it's a very fun update. So in my original proposal, I said that I didn't want there to be enviromine, because, like, I didn't want people to have to worry about starving or overheating or anything like that. I don't like that. But I actually decided on something that I figured would fit in pretty well with the pack. Sanity. Like, what if you could go insane? So down in the you can't see it right now because I'm crafting, but down in the lower right hand corner of the screen, there's a little eye and a couple and like a percentage. That's my current sanity. It's currently at 100%. It goes down when you're being attacked, like when you're around monsters, or when you're out and during the night, or as I find out later in this, when you have low health. So I didn't actually realize that it went down when you have low health, which is a little bit inconvenient for me, as you'll see later. when I start trying to do blood magic. But yeah, and you can regain it by sleeping or hanging around flowers, or like just being out during the day, taking like a nice stroll, not sprinting. It's actually really fun to balance. Lots of fun. Yeah, and then I also, this sort of came on me at the last moment. All my testers, they didn't actually play with this, but I ended up adding, like I added random things in the update for like purposes of multiplayer, because, well, in the first couple of releases of Running Red 2, multiplayer was a problem because of special mobs, because in special mobs, like, there's, like, historically, all Father Toast mods, there's been problems with hosting them on servers, but I updated to a version of special mobs that allowed me to make a server, and voila, we had server, and so I wanted, like, if you're playing on a server with your friends, you don't want to die permanently, so I random things is nice because it gives you a way to add, like revive other players. So I figured that'd be great for multiplayer. I also, just to improve compatibility with multiplayer servers where it's not hardcore and certain and like people who refuse to play hardcore and single player, I allowed the quest to be repeatable, so you could regain the potion effects that you get from completing the quests and getting the lore pages. Because it's supposed to be hardcore people, but you know, people don't always listen to things like that. So yeah, that was fun. But I also decided to add the hardcore darkness and other things, because I figured that's like, it just looks amazing for one to like not be able to see through that darkness, like if you saw in the beginning or like the first night in this video, when I had to like tower up above that lava, because I couldn't, like, if I stayed out there during the night, I would like wander around. I have no idea where I'm going except for like outlines against the sky. I wouldn't have been able to see anything. I could have run into monsters, and that would have been no fun. So I just did the Vex thing, towered up, used sand to make sandstone, and make myself a little platform, just hung out above the lava for the night. And yeah, that's like a fun thing. It's less like, you can't like go into caves and not, oh, here's the tree zombie. Yeah, that was, I figured that to be like a fun mechanic. Like, you can't go into caves without bringing your light, or else you get like completely lost down there. Also, like, what else? I also added the heroes and zombies and stuff in this update. They weren't there before, but I added them in this update. So like, the zombies that are spawning with armor, those were not there before, but I used Gen Creator by Vazki. It's really nice because it allows you to like create your monsters in-game and add them to the generation in-game. So that's what I did. So now zombies and skeletons and stuff, they generate throughout the world. There's a skeleton right there. They're pretty dangerous. You better watch out for them, especially the skeletons, because like I don't have a bow at this point. I don't get a bow until like the very end of this video. But yeah, it's very nice. So yeah, there's also villagers added to the world. I think I actually have to release a bug fix because one of the villagers, its trades are all messed up. But yeah, there's villagers who will trade with you for ores or mob drops, all those fun things. And there's also, yeah, there's like a villager who trades for seeds. He's the messed up one. Sometimes he trades for Tinker's construct tools. It's just weird. Yeah, at this point I go back to the desert. I'm not entirely certain why. I can't remember my train of thought here. We end up encountering a village and a whole bunch more fun stuff. I don't really know if we have much left to talk about here. It's really just the trailer. So, if you know, for my 1000th tweet, I released the Running Red 2 Vampire Money trailer. I think it worked out very well for what it is. Parts of it don't apply anymore. For instance, you would have been able to see all those monsters during the night, because obviously hardcore darkness. But the constant deaths do apply. I figured the pack is kind of like Blood and Bones in that. Oh, there's one of our villagers right there. Do I trade with it or do I kill it? That's the question. I think I trade with it for the bones. Yeah. And then I kill it? I don't know. Nope, I leave it. So the trailer was a problem, because like for the original Running Red, I spent a lot of time on the trailer. I wanted it to, like, you know, work and represent the pack. So like, Disenchanted represented how the character feels, and Heaven Help Us just, you know, for one, it was a good song, and I feel like I've talked about Heaven Help Us elsewhere, so just go watch whatever that is. I figure I'll put it in the description. But yeah, I wanted the song to represent the pack, and I had a lot of trouble deciding what song I would use to represent the pack. So like, first song I considered doing was obviously Vampire Money, because you know, the pack is called Vampire Money, so you know, I figured it might be a good song, but I don't know if it really represented the pack. I'll play all these songs later, just so you can hear what they were like. And then there was like another one was Vampires Won't Hurt You, or Vampires Will Never Hurt You. That was one of my options. But that song, I didn't necessarily want to include it because it's a good song, but it goes on for just like a little bit too long. And then another one was, let's see, Vampire Money. The other one was Early Sunsets Over Monroeville. That is, it was probably like the most likely candidate for a trailer, aside, yeah, if I'd made the pack right, like if I had made the trailer right when I had proposed it, I probably would have used Early Sunsets Over Monroeville, because although it's like a little long, it doesn't repeat itself too much, and it feels, I don't know, I just really enjoy that song. It's probably one of my favorites on the first album, My Chemical Romance. So I went through a lot of stages trying to figure out what song to make, to use. I don't know, there was just so many different options, and I didn't know which one would represent the pack the best. I believe yeah, so, shortly after the pack was released, the album by Gerard Way, Hesitant Alien, was released. It felt really good to hear that album, because, you know, I thought My Chemical Romance, I'm sorry, I know a lot of people don't actually like My Chemical Romance, but a lot of people do, I guess. It's like, a lot of the comments I got on the videos were either people saying that they liked the pack because it had My Chemical Romance, or wouldn't play the pack because it had lots of references to My Chemical Romance. It was just like, it was like the biggest pro and the biggest con at the same time. I personally enjoy it. But yeah, so Gerard Way's new album, Hesitant Alien, got released, and it's a really good album. Because like it sounds like a lot of the music that I used to listen to before I got into like electronic music and then My Chemical Romance. Ginger, what's wrong? What's wrong? I have no idea. So I listened to that pack, and one day I realized that it was like almost my 1000th tweet, and I wanted to do something special for it, so I decided that I'd finally release the Running Red 2 Vampire Money trailer. Gerard Way's album had just come out, so I decided to use one of the songs in that album. Hold on. I don't even know what's happening with the animals anymore. So I ended up choosing Millions. Millions I felt represented the pack very well. I guess I'll talk about it now. I want to talk for at least an hour, and we're almost there. So like Millions was, I felt like that represented the pack because, I don't know, hold on, I'm gonna pull up the lyrics. Millions, Gerard Way lyrics. So like the first part, you twist my arm, I'm twisting fate. Like the person's fate that you play as is to turn into a vampire, but like he's twisting fate. If you follow the human path, he's gonna end up not turning into a vampire. Like yeah, there's a lot of things. I'd have to think about this more. I haven't thought about this in a while, but there's a lot of things in the lyrics that, and just the general tone of the song that led to me using it as the trailer. And yeah. Okay, I didn't talk anywhere close to an hour and 45 minutes. I've got, we're currently at 53 minutes about. And this video goes on for so much longer. So I guess I'm gonna stop here. I'm obviously gonna let you watch the rest of my gameplay. It really picks up, like, once we get to the village, you get to see, like, the sanity mechanic come in, like, oh god. It was the first time I actually truly experienced the sanity, like, going insane, and that was a really crazy experience. So yeah. It was, it's just keep watching. And because you've watched this far, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. In Running Red and Running Red 2, if you ever like went into edit mode on either of the packs, you'll notice that it's just like it prevents you from looking at any of the quests. That's because like of the lock.text. So if the lock.text is like a little known feature of HQM. Basically, if you put in a lock.text and you put in like some words, you'll be able to lock the quest so that only if another lock.text exists with the with those exact same words, the people will be unable to view the edit mode quests, which I enjoy that mechanic greatly. You get all the perks that come with the more stereotypical. Okay. So in Running Red and Running Red 2, I'm rewarding you to listening for nearly an hour of my rambles. If you create a lock.text with the words pennies with a capital P, space, and colder fountains with like a space in between the and the A in and is lowercase, and the C in colder is capital, and the, yeah, it's just basically the line in so the capital letters are P, C, and F, and there's 3 spaces. Okay, I think it's just the one line in this is the one line in it's Early Sunsets over Monroeville. So if you ever want to, you know, look at the quests in Running Red or Running Red 2, you can use that those words, and you'll be able to unlock it. So yeah, thanks for listening to all my rambles about Running Red 2, to be exact. Thanks for watching this video. Just keep watching longer. It's actually a really interesting playthrough of the pack, if I do say so myself. I found it really enjoyable to play. And as always, you know, feel free to like and subscribe. I don't really care so much about subscribers and likes anymore. I mean, that's just, you know. You can follow me on Twitter. There I'll post updates about all the packs I make, and also I'll probably do lots of random things. So yeah, just follow me there if you want to see me do crazy stuff, I guess. So yeah, I'll see you later. I'm gonna actually play for you the music that I was considering using for the trailer. We're gonna start with the titular Vampire Money. Then we'll go into Vampires Will Never Hurt You. Then after that, Early Sunsets over Monroeville, and then Millions. So those are the songs that I was planning on using, and those are the songs that I'll end up using. After that, just turn up the game volume. Feel free to watch. By the way, the ending at my eventual death is just plain, like, I could never see that skeleton there. It was like hiding behind the tree. There's nothing I could have done about it. But anyway, yeah. See y'all next time. Thanks for watching.
There's no room in the next, and our memories defeat us. I'll admit the rest, but does anyone notice? But does anyone care? When if I had the guts to put this to your head, but does anything matter if you're already dead? And should I be shot now by the last thing you said before I pull this trigger? Your eyes vacant and stained, and it's saying you love me. Made things harder at best, and it's worth changing nothing as your bloody remain. And there's no room in this hell, there's no room in the next. But does anyone notice there's a corpse in this bed?
bleak things appear. The fact that people don't understand is terrifying. They can't see.